Good morning. Thanks for tuning in. I decided to do something different today versus talking about my usual research interest and how data is gathered and used here in the Western world, not to foster posterity for everyone, thus positive, uplifting, beneficial outcomes for everyone, but instead how it is used to generate wealth for people of desired groups. But today I'm going to talk about something a little different but relates to the same research designs that are used in the Western world. But this here, I believe, is the best worst half of it, these new tech developments. And so the takeaway from this is to understand how everything is evolving in such a way to reduce the need for people as laborers across industries. So, what does this tell you? Hopefully, you understand how you need to redesign your personal methods in terms of looking for permanent or permanence elsewhere. And when I say permanent, I do mean housing, employment. Think about how the future of healthcare is going to change, etc. So let's get started because this is going to be brief. I'm on a little mini vacation. I'm going to continue on doing so until the start of the year. And then I'll get back to it because everyone deserves a mental and a physical break. So here goes. First, we're going to start by conceptualizing some terms just so you can understand how businesses, colleges, and universities, especially their research, engineering, and tech departments, are using these processes, and how this information translates into the individual information process and domain, and thus industries. Okay, so artificial intelligence. This is the generation of that starts with natural spoken or written language that is programmed by way of something such as Python to produce or generate tangible, intangible, or virtual output. And that's exactly what AI serves to do. It either produces something or produces something that you cannot touch but can see, thus intangible, or something virtual. Right now, the most popular type of AI that has been made available to people uses Python or other programmable codes by way of art inspired AI. You have Dolly, and those of you who are on Discord. I try to limit my usage of AI because I don't want to give away a lot of ideas, okay? And I tell people, you hear some people saying AI is the devil. Well, you don't have to be the extreme about it, but think about this. Your thoughts are being poured into something that's not making you any money. Okay, and thus the whole NFT scandal. But back on topic. Again, AI, generation from natural language via Python or other popular programming language that produce tangible, intangible, or virtual output. 3D printing. This is a very popular process. I can remember when 3D printers were as much as $50,000, $100,000, $200,000. Now you can finance a 3D printer for home use for about $5,000. And if you have 5,000, of course, that means you don't have to finance it. But 3D printing is a process of quickly forming products or prototypes from directed input in solid form. Solid meaning polymer, plastic, wood, leather, etc. Whatever you can pour into this printer in whatever recipe or combination, it is going to come out so long as you input direct language that will lead to a complete product. And there are a lot of 3D printers on the market now that have the ability to start with something such as a template or pre-instructions for the printer itself. And just like any other printer, it does have a manual that come with great tutorials. So if you're going to invest in it, I suggest you read it, go online and take advantage of those free courses for your hardware. Now, Omniverses are pioneering scalable and complete platforms that operate all metaverse apps. I'm going to talk about a company in a couple of minutes that has their own Omniverse. I really want you all to follow this because the future is now. Now, changing industries that I'm going to talk about includes information technology, construction, warehousing, transportation, and logistics. Why these? Because these affect how you maintain your health, your diet, meaning what you eat, how you eat, where you live, how you live, where you work, how you commute, whether it's by way of public transportation in your own personal vehicle, and how you get the items or essentials that you need. Thus, warehouse transportation and logistics, people. So, again, I want you to focus on, as I speak, artificial intelligence, 3D printing, omniverses, and the changing industries. Now, some of the top universities that are out front of AI and 3D printing, which is now combining, include MIT, or Massachusetts Institute of Technology, the University of Buffalo, Arizona State University, and Nanyang Tech University in Singapore. MIT is always out front with the top sponsored budget, which could be from public or private funds, but of course they get a lot of federal funds. Their sponsored budget was in excess of $1,775,000. The University of Buffalo received a direct $2.6 million from federal sources, and Arizona is never far behind with more than $56 million just alone from the National Science Foundation. So for everyone who is saying that college is not for everyone or everyone is not fit to go to college, well, you still have your government here in the United States that's pouring more than $1 billion and couple of colleges and universities, and most of these schools are west of the Mississippi, so there's something for you to think about. All of these schools specialize in AI, 3D printing, IT interests, and research initiatives spanning engineering, design, manufacturing, and composite materials. What does that tell me? That tells me construction, okay, residential, commercial, again, transportation, warehouse logistics, biomedical engineering, bioprinting, and structures. This tells me that these people are already 25 years ahead and thinking about nuclear medicine technology, how they're going to use this information that they're also gathering from mobile devices such as cell phones, tablets, as far as the bioprinting. Everything encourages you to use bioinformatics now associated with accessing your profiles, the devices themselves. It has been proven that a lot of these devices, especially Samsung devices, can gather your vitals just from having one of your fingers over your the biometric itself, the camera on the back of these phones. And now they have these Bluetooth enabled devices that can also gather your vitals just from the touch of them. And then of course you have your wearables, everyone who likes the Fitbits, etc. And okay, and these schools are also specializing in metal, composite material, and digital printing. Another keynote there, the digital printing. I'm going to come to that later. Now, how's all of this changing the future of the American workforce and those in other countries, particularly Asia and Europe? Because these people are already adopting these initiatives. It is a known fact that Europe and Asia is always ahead of the United States by about 20 years in terms of their release of technology and the applied methodologies in their workforces. Of course, there's less need for people laborers. Now you have groups in this country and others that are pushing for strict legislation reform to curb the arrival of people from other parts of the world that are not adopting these initiatives, and that's mainly because they don't have the colleges and universities. And unfortunately, they don't have people within their national borders that are seeking higher education as other people here in the Western Hemisphere, but that's another discussion. However, a lot of these people are showing up on the shores of nations. They're seeking work where there will be very little in those occupations in the future. So, tech companies are designing more contracts for cost-effective roles versus full-time internal opportunities. That's something that I look at every day. You have an increasing number of professional remote opportunities available. The question is why? Because they're going to need people who are able to perform the same amount of work and more of it